Hey, do you want to hear a sleazy story? This is Richard Desmond. He was a press baron, published the Daily Express among other things. Well in with the Tory party, likes giving them donations, liked backing them in his papers. Anyway, this Richard Desmond had a little £1 billion property scheme going on. Nice little earner it was going to be. 4 big towers up to 44 floors high, apartments, offices, restaurants, bars, the full Monty, yeah? But there was a little snag. The planning inspector recommended rejecting the scheme because of its impact on local heritage sites and because it didn't have enough affordable housing. Worse, if there was any delay, a £40 million fee would kick in, which was payable to Tower Hamlets, one of London's poorest boroughs. And okay, not a huge amount compared to the value or the potential proceeds of the scheme, but you don't want a dent in your profit margin, do you? So Richard Desmond met up with Robert Jenrick, the housing minister, at a fundraising dinner. And he showed Jenrick a little video about the scheme, promotional video on his phone. And lo and behold, a day before the 40 million charge kicked in, Jenrick used his powers as housing minister to overrule the planning inspector and approve of the scheme willy-nilly, whether Tower Hamlets liked it or not. And then, by happy coincidence, 2 weeks later, Richard Desmond just happened to pay the Tories a little 12 grand donation. Now, it's been suggested in some quarters that this was an abuse of power, but true or not, that misses the point. Robert Jenrick should not have the power to overrule a borough council on a matter like this, whether it's for one of his party sponsors or not. England's government should not have the power to tell a London Borough Council what to do on a local housing matter, no matter who the beneficiary may be. Yet, when Sadiq Khan produced his housing plan for London back in March last year, Robert Jenrick waded in again. He didn't like the amount of provision it gave of 1 and 2 bedroom flats, too much, he thought. He didn't like its protection of the green belt. It did not, he said, meet national policy. So he demanded a load of amendments. Sadiq rolls over, adds the amendments, sends it back. Jenrick sits on the report on the plan till December. Finally, Sadiq gets it together to say, well, all right, I'm going to publish the report now anyway. So suddenly, Jenrick adds a load of new objections and Sadiq's forced to swallow them in order to get the plan published. Londoners, we shouldn't just take this. We should not accept the likes of Robert Jenrick telling us what to do with our housing. We need to stand up for ourselves. And on Thursday, May the 6th, we'll have a chance to do just that. In the London Assembly elections on that day, a party called Londependents are fighting the London-wide Assembly seats on the orange ballot paper. Londependents are the party for London. They're the party that will stand up for ordinary Londoners against this cronyocracy. They're on the orange ballot paper for the London-wide Assembly, and I'm going to be one of their candidates. So why don't you give us your vote? On May the 6th, let's stand up for London. Let's vote for Londependents. Let's turn London back on.